Hi, Miss Beverly. My name is Tabitha Madi Musa, and I'm responding to your week one discussion board write up where you had a case study about small church benevolence during the pandemic. I found your write up very interesting, and I could identify with that. I do agree with Kukuma et al. When he stated that there was a such shortage of mental health professionals, that it exists, that shortage exists to deliver necessary interventions for countries of low and middle income. And while America does not fall within that spectrum, I would say. Part of what I would say it's evident, especially because of this pandemic, or what has been highlighted, is there exists a lot of low and middle income population in America that have had to experience a large deficit due to the effects of the pandemic on either their jobs, the economy, and their livelihoods. So, with that in mind and understanding that spiritual leaders that are dealing with low income members or have a high population of low income or middle income earners have to have a strategy in place to be able to provide resources to combat mental illnesses or issues of depression, anxiety, suicide, loss of income, a lot of mental health issues that could arise just from grief of losing your job, losing a loved one, uncertainty of what the future holds. So, with all those things in place, most churches have part of all from the churches I've been aware of, because I worship in a church that has between 150 to 200 members on a good day. And we fall, I could say, most of the income earners fall between the middle and low income earners, members there. So one of the strategies we set up during this pandemic was we already had a benevolence team handled by the outreach pastor. But what we did alternatively was to set up benevolence fund and ask the members of the church to contribute towards it. Now, we already had a food pantry running. The food pantry provided food and basic necessities to members of the community and members of the church that fall within this group that have needs, and they provide food and basic necessities for them. And we normally used to have between 25 to 50 families weekly. But during this pandemic, we've had to increase the slots to 3 or 4 times a week, and we sometimes run up to 500 families in a week. So that there was a need to increase our benevolence giving, and so therefore there was a request made to the church to give into that more proactively. And then we also, part of the strategies that I would suggest, that because with mental health issues and especially with the current times now, some of the churches might have to find strategies on how to provide services like counseling and the rest comes, and providing meeting the needs of those in the that fall within the low income population requires having professionals or people to work with it. But one of the strategies we did was that we didn't have enough professionals to handle the crowd that we're getting. So what we did alternatively was to train interns, high school and university students that are home during this break or during the pandemic, train them with being able to identify key issues that they could easily identify, and set up appointments and spread it out so that the mental health professionals in church or the counselors in church do not get overwhelmed. So I do understand the fact that sometimes organizations need to find a way, or churches, non-profit organizations or churches need to find a way to fill in the gap so that they can be able to provide help or resources to their members. And this one, and I guess you rightly said that the federal government, the income they provided was on the supplement of the stimulus checks they provided was able to meet the needs of most families. So little programs can be set up like food drives and other things to kind of meet or augment the needs of the society, and in the process they could also set up counseling decks to kind of like provide a need. I do know that sometimes it's not just about identifying the need or what is happening in the society. They said sometimes the effective leadership, according to Kakuma, is judged necessary for scaling up of mental health workforce. So that means that where there exists little or minimal mental health people or staffs, one of the things that can be implemented is to train non-essential workers, non-specialist health workers. They can be trained so that they'll be able to strategically set up systems in place to assist the mental health workers. I hope my input was helpful. Thank you very much.